Hi guys! Today I'm making a pork chop recipe, and of course as soon as I hit record my dog starts barking in the background. First I'm going to show you my side dish. In my round steamer I put 2 cups of bow tie pasta and 4 cups of water. So I'm just going to get that started for my Epicure mac and cheese. And remember, every pack of mac and cheese that's purchased, Epicure donates a meal to a needy family, so that's pretty awesome stuff. So I'm going to put this in the microwave for 12 minutes so we can get that going. Okay, now I'm going to start on my pork chops. These are a pan-fried pork chop. It's actually not an Epicure recipe. It's a recipe that I adapted from Skinny Taste. It was one of my family's favorite pork chops that you kind of coat them with the Southwestern type flavors, and then after you bread them and fry them, you squirt lime on them before you eat them. Really good. So what I decided to do, in this bowl I have 2 eggs. And just beat those 2 eggs, and I'm gonna add some of the oh no, that's not to the egg, I'm getting confused. I'm gonna add some of the guacamole dip mix to my eggs. I'm going to add I think 1 heaping tablespoon looks good. I took my handy dandy 4-in-1 spoon, added that, and I'm just gonna whisk that a little bit with my fork here. And that smells delicious already. So this is going to be what we dip our pork chops in first. And I just have the boneless, skinless pork chops here, probably about 1 pound or so. They're thin cut. My family likes the thin ones. They get nice and crispy in the pan. All right, and then over here I have, you can use whatever breadcrumbs you want, but my husband's keto, so I like to use almond flour for breading a lot. I mean, you could use our Southern Baked in this recipe, but at the time I don't have any left. So I am going to stick with my almond flour for this one. And to spice it up, I'm going to add some of the chipotle. I'm gonna start out with 1 teaspoon here. See how that goes. You know what? I'm gonna add 2 teaspoons. 2 heaping teaspoons, because I love my chipotle. Okay, and I'm just gonna stir that up. So that's what's gonna be with our pork chops. So my dog Kat's over here, she likes it. She loves pork chops. Just waiting for hers, huh, Kat? Yes, my dog's name is Kat. Her name is Catalina, but we call her Kat for short. She's a good girl. Okay, so I have that ready to go. I'm gonna set these to the side so you can see what I'm doing, and let me just grab a plate to put the pork chops on after I bread them. Sorry, my kitchen's a mess. Okay, let's see. Going to take the pork chop, dip it in the egg. My dog's over there watching me. She's like, oh, she's not gonna give me anything. Dip it in the egg and then just coat it in the almond flour lightly. So we're gonna do all these quickly here. See how quick I can do this? I mean, this is probably the longest part of the meal because these are not gonna take long at all to pan fry because they're very thin. I mean, if you didn't want to use pork chops, if your family doesn't really like pork, you could do this with chicken, boneless, skinless chicken tenders. It would be really good. Chicken breasts. You could also do it with tofu if you're vegetarian or vegan. If you're vegan, obviously you wouldn't use the egg, but you could dip it in some coconut milk or almond milk instead, and then the flour. I've done that before and that works nicely with the tofu. This looks so good. I can't wait to eat these. And whenever in my mac and cheese, I'm gonna add some spice to that too to make it a little more exciting than normal mac and cheese. And I have some bell peppers that I sliced up to go with this too, that I'm gonna turn on in the air fryer. Those are only gonna take about 10 minutes, so actually maybe about 7 minutes and they'll be done. So I'm gonna see when there's about 5 minutes left on that mac and cheese, then I'll go ahead and turn on my air fryer. But this seems like enough. Sometimes I run out of the breading, like if I didn't put enough in, but 1 cup of the almond flour seems to be enough, and 2 eggs in here to get this coated. If you need more, if you run out, don't worry about it. Just add a little bit more and a little tiny bit more seasoning to your flour or breadcrumbs. But this almond flour is great too, because if you are gluten-free, you can use this to bread things. Or just use our Southern baked, like I do a lot of times. It's really good. And we aren't a gluten-free family. We don't have to be gluten-free, but we eat all of this stuff, everything that Epicure has to offer, and we love it. It's still so tasty. So you do not have to be gluten-free to enjoy these products. All right, got this guy coated. One more guy to coat. Okay. Okay, there's still enough left to coat him. It was just enough with 1 cup of flour, so. And probably 1 pack of our Southern baked would be enough to coat this amount of pork chops. And with the Southern baked, you don't even have to use an egg. You could just use olive oil to dip it in. So I'm gonna move these over into my sink quickly. And I'm going to turn on my frying pan back here. I don't know if you can see me. I'm gonna end up moving my camera probably so you can see what I'm doing to the pork chops and just throw my trash away. All right, so what I'm gonna do is take these over here. I'm heating up the frying pan over medium-high heat, so this will be really easy. I'm gonna move this closer. All right, guys. I'm gonna just pop over to my air fryer. Excuse me for a minute. Yeah, those have about 5 minutes. So I'm over here turning on my air fryer. I'm gonna do 390. I'm gonna do 7 minutes for these bell peppers. I just think they'll be good to top the bell peppers on top of the pork chops. Okay. So I just have some olive oil in my frying pan. And I'm just gonna put these guys in. Nice pork chops. And like I said, you could use chicken or whatever you want. And our guacamole dip seasoning that I used in the egg, that's gonna give this some nice flavor. If you haven't tried our guacamole dip seasoning, you don't know what you're missing. It is so good. And there's no preservatives in it, no MSG. It's really good stuff. Tastes delicious. All you need for guacamole is to mash an avocado up with that, and a little bit of lime. So these pork chops are gonna be really tasty. And the chipotle is one of my favorites. If you don't like chipotle, add some of the roasted garlic to the breading instead. That would be really good. I mean, you could even do a whole Italian type style pork chop. Into the egg, you could add some of the pesto seasoning and then add the roasted garlic seasoning into the breadcrumbs. So I'm just gonna do these probably about 3 minutes on each side, I think. Maybe even less. So while these are cooking, I'm just gonna show you what I was talking about, the roasted garlic. This is the one I said you could do if you didn't want the chipotle. Chipotle. I still can't say it right. Chipotle. There it is. Now this makes a really good sauce, an aioli sauce. You can make dip with this too. But I think it's going to be excellent in this breading. So I use that one like every other day, I think. So these guys are cooking pretty good here. I'm going to move this so you can see it a little closer. And what I'm gonna do is just flip these. I have 3 minutes left on my pasta. I'm gonna flip them already. I mean, that one's pretty ready to flip. You can kind of lift them up here and see if they're ready to go or not. Sometimes they get like a little stuck, and that means they're not ready. These are very lightly breaded with this almond flour. It's not a real heavy breading. It's really nice. So you can see I'm using my grip and grab tongs to flip these. These are really nice. Of course, everything is really nice. That's why you guys should have a party. So you can get all these free rewards and earn some items. Or if you want to become a consultant like me, see, look, now that breading came off a little bit because I flipped them too early. I was getting too eager there. It's good for you guys to see my mistakes. You can learn from them and not do it. So he's the only one. He's going to have less breading. Maybe we'll give him the cat the dog. All right, so, yeah, this could have done a little longer on that side, but I'm going to do probably at least 4 or 5 more minutes on these pork chops. My noodles still have 2 minutes. So while I'm waiting for my noodles to get done, I'm going to show you the mac and cheese again. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the mac and cheese. It has cheddar cheese, milk, buttermilk solid, salt, whey, mustard flour, and onion. And it's fairly low in sodium compared to like Kraft macaroni and cheese, and way less preservatives and ingredients. Also, there's a recipe on the back to make a Mexican mac and cheese, and pizza mac and cheese, and a tuna casserole. So those are fun variations. And I thought it would be great to even do a pesto one of these, which I'm gonna love to do a pesto mac and cheese. But today what I'm gonna add is some of the red garlic seasoning, and that's new in our summer catalog. The red garlic is a topper that has garlic, red bell pepper, apple cider vinegar, spices, onion, hibiscus, herbs, and citric acid. So it is really good, really yummy stuff. So I'm gonna add that to my mac and cheese. And in the mac and cheese, there's just milk and butter. All right, let's see, I think this microwave is done. It's just about done, so I'm gonna go ahead. You guys can watch these pork chops cooking. You know, watch them over there. And I'm gonna take my round steamer and I'm gonna drain the pasta. I'm gonna get it out of my microwave here. I'm gonna turn those down to medium. I just don't want them to burn while I'm doing this other stuff. So here it is in my round steamer. See that steam coming out? Now my round steamer, this is my first time using the round one because I just got it. I usually use the multi-purpose steamer. So I'm just going over to my sink to drain the pasta, guys. You really don't have to see this part. I'm just gonna drain it in here. Just be careful if you try to just drain it without using a strainer. That's what I usually try to do with the lazy. So just be careful if you do that so you don't get burnt with the hot water. Hopefully you can still hear me over all that sizzling. Draining all this water out, and I use the bow tie pasta. And that took 12 minutes. Alright guys, so there's my pasta. Whoop, didn't see it. There's my pasta, so I'm going to move you back over here. So you can see, I need to hire a professional cameraman, huh? Harrison, my son Harrison said he'll do it. Let me back this up again so you can see the whole thing here. All right, there it is. The noodles for the mac and cheese. So now I'm gonna add, and of course I have a mess over here that I have to wipe up. You know it. Of course I have a mess. Just gonna take this dirty one here. Oh, not dirty one, now it's dirty. Wipe this up and get my mess out of the way. All right, guys, I'm going to cut open this mac and cheese seasoning packet with my Prep Pro scissors. Toss in the mac and cheese powder and 2 tablespoons of butter. A third a cup. I don't know if you guys can see me good. I'm like, I have to shrink down a little bit now the way I have this set up. 1/3 cup of milk. You can use almond milk if you wanted to. I'm also going to add a good drizzle, not really a drizzle, a sprinkle of grated Parmesan cheese. Because I like extra cheese in this mac and cheese. And I'm going to get out my peppers are done. I'm going to get out my 4-in-1 spoon and do this red garlic seasoning, red garlic topper. I'm going to do a teaspoon of that. That looks pretty decent. So that looks good. I'm going to get a spoon out here. Just stir this up. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? Because my Set my spoon over there. I'm gonna put the, where did I put the lid, guys? Oh, here it is. I wish you guys could talk to me on these videos and tell me what I'm doing. I'm gonna put the lid on just to melt the butter a little bit, and I'm gonna go over here and just flip my pork chops again. Ooh, they're getting nice and brown on the bottom. I just wanna flip them one more time. Turn it down low, because they're pretty much done. And I'm gonna bring one over here to show you how nice this plate's gonna be. Hope you can still hear me over that sizzling. There's a lot of sizzling going on. All right, so I think my camera is a little bit crooked, but it'll be okay. So this is a 15-minute meal so far too, and it's almost done. Yeah, this is gonna be a 20-minute meal. Look how good that mac and cheese looks. Ooh, it smells delicious with that roasted garlic, or not the roasted garlic, the red garlic. Oh, that looks so good. Oh, I bet my daughter Anna's gonna like this because she loves mac and cheese. So I hope she enjoys this variation of it with the red garlic. All right, so there's that. Now what I'm gonna do is just plate this dinner up and show it to you. We're gonna grab a plate over here, guys. And here are my bell peppers that I did in the air fryer. Okay, so I'm just gonna grab another pair of tongs that I have, and I'm just gonna take a couple bell peppers. My son Max is lingering around, he's hungry. He's waiting for dinner. Pretty soon, Max, like 2 minutes. All right, so I'm going to plate this up just to show you how nice it will look. And then my mac and cheese. And you guys can't see this because it's out of the frame. This is a good plate. And then the lime juice, just squirt it on top of the pork chop and serve it. There you go. Dinner made in less than 20 minutes. We're at 17 minutes and 22 seconds right now. So there you go. Rada ready in 20 minutes or less. Let me help you make good food real fast, guys. Please ask me if you have any questions. Thank you for all your support, and keep watching because I have lots of good stuff ahead. Talk to you later. Bye.